All right, the Sorta Sports podcast presents The Big Salad.
If it was a regular salad, I wouldn't have said anything. But you had to have that big salad!
Hosted by the one and only Quinn Maseko.
Thank you, George, and thank you, Ryan. In today's episode, we talk about the Giants and the Jets' big wins on Sunday. Dan Snyder possibly being removed, and Tennessee kind of upsets Alabama. But we begin today first with what happened last afternoon in New York City. The Yankees ended up beating the Guardians, had a lead, built off home runs. As Ryan said, a team built off home runs is not winning the playoffs, ended up doing so.
Yeah,
sadly.
I know.
Giancarlo Stanton with a 3-1 blast, Aaron Judge with a solo shot. So, in addition to that, it was also last night the first game of the NLCS, and the Phillies edged the Padres there 2-0 off of solo shots by Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber. So, Ryan, which one is the bigger deal from last night?
Well, especially now that we just finished watching Game 2 of the pennant before we recorded. Woo! Padres got the big win, absolutely crushed it. The Wheeler difference is really what it is. If Zach Wheeler isn't pitching, it's a big difference. I mean, Wheeler is an absolute stud for the Phillies. Yesterday, Juan Soto and Manny Machado combined to be 0 for 7. Today, Juan Soto had a big RBI hit. I think he had 2 hits on the night. And then he got on base off a fielder's choice another time. Manny Machado hit 2 home runs tonight.
That's going to help you.
Absolute monster. So my Padres are rolling. I'm super excited. I know I picked the Mets to win the World Series, but we all know I like the Padres better anyway. I thought they were going to lose. And it looks like they're on their way to maybe being in the World Series. I'm super excited. And so the bigger deal to me definitely is the Yankees beating the Guardians, because that means I'm in the dreaded position of picking between the two teams I dislike the most that aren't named the Dodgers, which is the Astros and Yankees. There's only 3 teams in baseball I don't like, and it's Astros, Yankees, Dodgers. I mean, I like some teams more than others. But, I'm not really that high on the Twins. I like Correa, but, Astros, Yankees, Dodgers, that's like a hellscape for me if the 3, it's any combination that's in the World Series. And I got lucky enough that the Dodgers got knocked out by my boys, the Padres. So, realistically, I am in a bad scenario here because the winner of the pennant, the winner of the AL pennant is going to be somebody I do not want to win the World Series. So, the NL winner needs to be the World Series winner. And I do think the Padres. I need to, real quick, before I go and talk about the Guardians series, I need to release my formal apology. Because 2 weeks ago, we talked about bigger deal, and it was the Phillies making it into the playoffs.
Or the Pop.
Or
the Guardians.
It was the Guardians. And I said Guardians. Not a terrible take. Not terrible. But the Phillies, I said, I just don't think they're going to beat the Cardinals. And on top of that, I don't think they'd beat the Braves, even if they did. I was wrong. They beat both the Braves and the Cardinals, and so I need to formally apologize to the Phillies.
I'm sorry, it was the Mariners, excuse me.
Oh, yeah, that was definitely bad. I mean, come on.
You did pick the Mariners.
Yeah. So I definitely picked. That's not even as good looky as it was the Cards. You tried to give me a favor. So I need to formally apologize to the Phillies because Bryce Harper, I'm a big fan of yours. I said that you deserve the 2021 NL MVP. You're probably in my top 20, maybe top 10 favorite players. I really like you, Bryce. Schwarber, you're probably my top 25, top 20 favorite players. Definitely not top 10, sorry, bud. But, former Cub and that 2016 Cub team, a lot of guys there I liked. I can pretty much name the whole team off the top of my head right now. You were a left fielder. You were a stud. Love you, Schwarber. But, JT Realmuto, a lot of respect. Zach Wheeler, a lot of respect. Nola, respect. Your brother, my dog, plays for the Padres, and we all know I'm a big Padres backer. So I'm wearing their hat. It's the hat I've worn the most of my life. It's my favorite hat. My entire collection of MLB hats is my Padres hat. And I actually have a friend who, no matter what hat I wear, says nice Padres hat. It's just a running gag. If I'm wearing a Cardinals hat, I wear a Mariners hat, he's always like, it's a nice Padres hat. Because the joke is that I always wear Padres hats because it's my favorite. So, because I've worn so much, it's just become my standard hat. But it was actually the second hat I ever had in my collection. It was a Cubs hat and then this. So, well, if you count my old Astros hat and my old... And my old Guardians hat I have. But, what?
So you threw that away.
No, I actually have it in a box, and I'm not buying another Stros hat again. Here's the crazy part: I bought it, and it has the World Series patch on the side too. So it's freaking weird how I got that one. Yeah. So point of all this is that I'm formally apologizing to the Phillies. You no longer need to go out of your way to get revenge on me. I'm sorry. You guys have played really well this postseason, and if it wasn't the Padres, I would 100% be rooting for you guys because I like Bryce Harper a lot. I think you have really weak hats, like probably bottom 5 hat in the MLB, but jersey-wise, you're like top 10. I love their jerseys. Their hats are just weak. But I'm just apologizing, you guys, because you guys played really well, but it's time to come off. It's the Padres. Let the Padres get the win. It's not the longest apology ever. I'm sure there's been divorce speeches that were much longer than this, where they're trying to get back together. So in my defense. And I'm not divorcing the Phillies, because I was never married to them. Point is, the Padres, let them go through, Phillies. Tonight, you put up a bit of a fight, and I didn't like that. So please, Phillies, I'm sorry. You don't have to get revenge on me. I respect you guys. And if you go to the World Series, I will 100% root for you guys. But please, I'm telling you right now, I love this Padres team. Josh Bell, I saw his first ever MLB hit live in Pittsburgh. Juan Soto is probably my favorite player in the league. Him and Jazz are kind of tied. The fact that my favorite player has fallen off for me, Tatis, he'd have to do a lot to regain my love and affection. And the fact that this team's still rolling, I just love this Padres team. Love what they've done. So, Phillies, respect to you guys. If you guys beat the Padres, I will respect you. But I am saying, please do not beat them out of revenge for me. I don't want this to be on me. So, thank you. So, the Yankees beating the Guardians, I think, is a bigger deal. Because to me, I feel like the Guardians had a chance to take down the Stros. And I'm going to root for the Yankees. I have to say this. Ryan Klinger is going to root for the Yankees. It's wild. I know you can't believe it. I don't know what got into me last year rooting for the Astros in the World Series. I think it's honestly just because I think the Braves are one of those boring MLB franchises. Like, they don't have a lot of exciting things about them. Mm-hmm. Other than Ronald Acuna, they're really not that exciting. And last year, Acuna was out. So all their, the sexiness of the Braves, very low. So I kind of was like, why not? Let the Stros win. Because I like Jordan Alvarez. Everybody else on that team I don't like, except Correa. And last year they had Correa. So they had 2 guys I liked.
Yes.
Whereas the Braves, I'm like, there's no one here I like that much. So now it's just Jordan, and I don't want to see them win. And I know you like Dusty, but I'm like, you know what? Dusty. Here's the nice thing. If the Yankees beat them...
Are we talking about the Astros as his letter B, and I haven't even answered letter A yet?
Okay, well, let me just finish this. If the Yankees beat the Stros, they're not beating the Padres or the Phillies. So I need the Yankees to win. I'm going to root for the Yankees because they're a team that statistically shouldn't win. So my hope is eventually they're going to hit an average and they're going to lose. So that's my hope. But it is a bigger deal to me with the Guardians because I think the Guardians could have beat the Stros pretty well. I think it would have been a really good matchup for them. They're a very base hit-based team. They don't hit a lot of homers. They were on some crazy clutch stuff. Gonzalez, back-to-back walk-offs. They were doing some weird MLB documentary type crap. Mm-hmm. And you're going to be watching the 30 for 30 in 5 years going, oh, I remember that. They were on something. They were on some magic stuff. And then it gets screwed up. Game 4. I mean, that really screwed them up. They needed to win that game.
They had to win.
Because you knew when they went back to New York, it was over.
Yes, I didn't. I did.
Because I was rooting hardcore for the Guards. I literally thought to myself, I'm like, if it's a Guardians-Padres World Series, I don't care who wins. Genuinely. I'm happy both ways. Now, it has to be the Padres win. I mean, Phillies would be pretty cool. But come on. So, yeah. The AL, I'm very upset about, but it is a bigger deal to me with the Yankees because the Phillies beating the Padres, I don't think it's indicative of the series, whereas Guardians-Yankees, I mean, the Guardians were a legit World Series threat, I feel like.
They were. They could have been.
I think more so than the Yankees. I think they're the better team than the Yankees.
I mean, I have to see what they're really...
The thing is with the Yankees is, I'm going to be honest, I am a Luis Severino fan, but I don't think he looked that good.
He was not that good.
And I think it's really just Garrett. I don't know how they got that out of, what's-his-face for Game 5? Cortez?
I don't know how they did either, but they did.
He pitched a absolute gem, and I don't know how. I was pissed. I was like, how did they get that out of him? I was very upset that he pitched that well. It's Garrett carries that freaking team.
Yes, 2 games, he brings a win for each of them. So they only needed 1 more game to get a win in.
And I thought he was going to pitch it again because he's a crazy guy like that. He said he'd pitch again after a 110-pitch night. That's why they're not going to win the World Series, though, is by the time they get to the World Series, Garrett Cole's done. His arm is going to fall off.
Yes, it is.
They're not built to last. We know this. It's the Yankees have consistently, slowly gotten worse. In June, they're the best team in baseball. Then by August, they were the 3rd. Then by September, they're the 4th. Now they're the 4th still. They haven't really improved.
Right, but they keep winning somehow. So that's
somehow, I don't know what's going on.
That means their bullpen is not good.
I've never seen a team be carried. I
don't even really know who the other starting pitchers are.
I've never seen a MLB team like this where it's almost like a basketball team. Where you have your 4 stars, Judge, Stanton,
Garrett Cole,
And no, who's the kid that
Who, Cabrera?
No,
Kiner
he's been kicking lately.
Kiner Falefa.
No, fifth. He's not the 5 batter. He's the 6. His name starts with a B. Last name.
Donaldson. No.
Donaldson hasn't been doing well. It's not Baum. Alec Baum's for the. He's the one that was on the Cardinals. He used to be on the Cardinals. Long hair.
Oh, Harrison Bader. Yeah.
Yeah, Bader's been a stud in the playoffs. So I'm saying, Bader, Cole, Judge, and Stanton. Judge and Stanton pretty much every game score a run each, if not 2. Bader consistently has gotten home, like whether off an RBI or he hits a shot. He hit a home run this game already. Mm-hmm. And Garrett Cole is far and away their best pitcher. I've never seen a team that is so like dependent on it's. I mean, it'd be like if the Angels were in the playoffs and it was just like, okay, well, Shohei and Trout are here.
Right.
It's the same. I don't know how the Yankees have done this because there are certain guys in their lineups. I'm like, this guy is nowhere near as good as. Like you look at the Padres lineup. Austin Hedges is not Austin Hedges. That's the catcher for
the catcher for the Guardians.
Yeah, Austin Nola is the catcher. He's the 9 batter. He can get a nice hit. He can rake it in. Today he had a big hit off his brother. Got an RBI.
Yes.
I'm like, those guys, you can have those little moments out of guys. For the Guardians, they had Gonzalez at the 5, and he was looking like a stud. Like, you have a lot more depth. The Yankees have, like, no depth. They have one amazing starter. They're built not to be a good team. I don't understand. By everything I know, they shouldn't be good. It doesn't make sense.
According to their roster, they have 7 starting pitchers on here. So, whatever that means... that's what it means. But I don't want to talk about the Yankees too much until I get answer letter A first. Did you answer letter A?
It's a bigger deal if the Yankees beat the Cards.
Okay.
I'm also really upset because I love Shane Bieber and Tristan McKenzie and Jose Ramirez and Ahmed Rosario. I love Ahmed Rosario. He's got a great beard.
I knew that. I thought the Guardians could win in New York if it happened Monday night, and then when that was postponed to Tuesday afternoon, and they had the hotel issues.
Hotel fiasco,
that is what
killed them.
Totally. It was a big snowball effect there. So that's where I'm going to say it's the Phillies over the Padres because the Padres, I guess the series is always set up for whoever has the most home games to win those. You needed to win.
Do you want me to prop the score up for the Astros
that would
game?
Be fine.
Yeah, I'll do that for you.
I wasn't really looking. I was looking for roster, but anyway. So, the Phillies have already stole one in San Diego. They could run the table in Philadelphia and in this series because they're heading there tonight. Well, tomorrow. Tomorrow's
that's true.
I'm just saying that's the possibility. Your goal is always to win all your home games. So, I don't know who Philly's going to be pitching the next few days. I think I'm going to look it up real quick and see if they have anything. But Zach Wheeler last night was just on fire.
Lights out.
Darvish pitched a great game, too.
He did!
The only thing, he gave up 3 hits, and 2 of those were solo home runs. And that's what they said, basically, on the broadcast, is that's what his goal is usually. He never gives any base runners up, so when he gives up runs, they're usually solo home runs.
Yep, and I'm fine with that. Yu's great.
He's 35. Great. He sounds like I thought he was on kind of a downward trend, but it seems like he's peaking back up.
Well, and then tonight they pitched my boy Blake Snell. I've liked him ever since he was back at the Rays.
Yep. When he
and then Friday it'll probably be Musgrove, and Musgrove's been ever since he went to the Padres. Musgrove became a beast.
It should be.
He's got the Garrett Cole thing. I used to pitch for the Pirates, and then I got good. That's just how it goes. Because the Pirates, a couple years back, they don't do this anymore. They had a manager. For some reason, their organization did like a pitch to contact type thing. Like they tried to teach everybody to just not to get like strikeouts. They tried to make everybody Richard Blyer, and not everybody's Richard Blyer. He's a one of a kind old Dick Blyer. So what?
You're going on your little thing.
Dick Blyer. I love Richard Blyer. I've talked about him before. The foolish baseball video about Richard Blyer, one of my favorite pitchers. And you know what team he's on? The team I'm secretly a massive fan of, my Marlins.
Your Marlins.
I love my Marlins. Jazz Chisholm, Dick Blyer, Sandy Alcantara.
We only know for Game 3 the pitchers are going to be for Padres Phillies, and that is Musgrove versus Suarez. But basically they're set up, in my opinion, because Darvish pitched on Tuesday. He could pitch in...
Probably Game 5. I think 4 is going to be Clevenger.
Be pushing it. Yeah, so probably Clevenger's Game 4. They get to Game 5, they can start over and go Darvish, Snell, Musgrove again.
Yep, you're looking over the fact that the Game 5 will be Sunday, so he's almost had a week off.
Well, that's what I'm...
5 days. 5 days will be good.
It'll be 4 days in between. So, yeah, so it's a day short. It's almost a full rest.
Blake Snell's a monster. Blake Snell might be like, I got it. He's, you know what I mean? He's one of those tough guys. Blake Snell's a tough guy.
It's kind of like when we talked about earlier about Corey Kluber when he played for he pitched 3. He started 3 games.
Yep. He was. I loved him.
Then Cleveland Indians. now Guardians in the World Series.
Dude,
So
that's
that's how it's going to be.
okay. I really wish somewhere in there they would have won the World Series. And they had Frankie and Kluber. It was a fun team.
7:37 pitch tomorrow for Yankees Astros. So speaking of Yankees Astros, after I took the Phillies in letter A, Ryan's basically already talked about who has the edge in the New York Yankees Astros.
The Stros are better. It's just I'll be rooting for the Yankees.
Yes,
the Stros
he's
are
already
by
been
all
the
metrics
Yankees.
better. You look at their lineup. There's no hole. Gurriel's good. Pena's good. Jose Siri's good. Justin Tucker's underratedly good. Jose Altuve's
Justin Tucker of Major League Baseball.
Yes. Jose Altuve's a stud.
Even though
Jordan
he's
Alvarez
there.
is the best batter on that entire team. Offensively, he is a beast. One of my favorite players. I really wish he would leave Houston. He should go to Miami. Everybody I like just needs to go to Miami. Well, not everybody. Juan should stay with the Padres because I love Padres. If I can get it to be so Miami has Aaron Judge and Jordan Alvarez, I'll just be happy because they're two guys on two teams I hate, but I like those two. I think me and every other guy in America likes Aaron Judge, though. He's just a really likable guy. He's got a big smile. He plays baseball the right way. He's a good dude. So I really wish he wasn't on the Yankees, though.
My edge is going to be here to the Astros for a different reason other than lineup. Other than that, it's because of what has happened timing-wise. New York, they just played, literally, because of all the craziness that happened during that series, they had to play. They're playing back-to-back to start this series. They're going to play back-to-back-to-back. So basically, you're playing like a normal series. Kyle Tucker, not Justin Tucker.
Oh, you're right. Kyle Tucker, sorry.
So,
good call.
No, that's why I wanted to check. Oh, really? Not Justin Tucker. Anyway, so I'm going to take the Astros there. I think Dusty has the team ready, even though the Astros have been on rest. They swept the Mariners. But
that was painful.
There's no reason why they got Verlander pitching tonight. He's already got 7 strikeouts in 4 innings because he's just amazing at age 39. So
he's incredible.
I
Verlander's one of the best.
And I personally, obviously, I'm rooting for Dusty. I think managerially, he is he's one of the best managers to ever coach baseball.
But it can be his thing that he never won one. There it is.
Yes.
It can be Dusty's thing. He's never won a World Series.
Kind of,
it can be Dusty's thing.
one of those
Because
guys
here's the thing. If he wins a World Series, then he's just another good manager with one World Series win. Whereas if he loses, then he'll always be known as the best one to never win. So you should think about it like that, Q.
I should.
He'll be remembered more.
Maybe.
And then think about it. It'll be like, oh, well, he joins the list of all the great managers who never won a World Series. Obviously one of the big ones is Dusty Baker.
He won one as a player for the Dodgers. But he's never won one as a manager. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe it could be his thing that he never won one. You got to think about it like that.
I can hear you. I can see you.
Yeah, be thinking about that.
But we're rooting for Dusty. So,
quick thing I want to say.
Yes.
So you and I both know the Astros have been to the pennant every year since 2017.
Yes.
What I didn't even realize until somebody pointed out online, I can't remember who said it. I think I saw in a comment section or it was on Bleacher Report or something. Every single year it's against an AL East team because 17 it's Yankees, 18 it's Red Sox, 19
Red Sox beat them.
Yes, 19 it's Yankees, the Astros win.
Yep.
20 it's the Rays win. 21 it's the Red Sox and the Astros win.
Yep.
22 it's Yankees again.
Yep.
It's always an AL East team.
Yep.
Those AL Central boys can't get a break.
Not since 2016.
Nope.
Yep, and the Red Sox should.
And the NL Central.
The Red Sox were up 2-0 on them in
yeah.
ALCS last year. I like the Red Sox, so that's
Sockies.
Yeah. But
No, the White Sox are the Sockies. Sorry.
Verlander
the White Sox are the Sockies. The Red Sox are just the Red Sox.
But
I love Xander Bogaerts.
On to some college football here, since we've talked about the MLB playoffs. On Saturday, thrillers of games. TCU beat Oklahoma State in double overtime. If you saw that, I was in East Lansing for a thriller in overtime with Michigan State over
Just
Wisconsin.
in Halloween time, we're listening to Thriller and watching the game.
Yeah, and they actually did. I was you were in the marching band, kind of still are, because the year's not over yet.
Yeah, I'm about to be done. Yeah.
And I was in the marching band in high school, so so Michigan State's band had a Broadway night, so I'm big musical theater.
You are.
That was good. I like that. But anyway, besides the point, great game there. Glad I made it up for a nice fall Saturday. And the ice cream sandwiches at Spartan Stadium. Now, I found this on Twitter last year from the beat writer that wrote for Michigan State on The Athletic, and they're the best because they're chocolate chip cookies with the ice cream in the middle. Those are great.
Those do sound amazing.
And the cookies, though, but they're not squishy cookies. That's what you don't want. You want hard cookies.
Yeah, I agree.
They were hard. They were great. They were fantastic. So looking forward to going back next year. Anyway, besides that, the big thriller was, in the same window as my Michigan State game, Alabama at Rocky Top, also known as Tennessee. And Tennessee closed the deal with a 52-49 win over the Crimson Tide. So, does this give Tennessee the upper edge to close the deal for a trip to the SEC Championship?
Well, here's the thing. You and I talked about this last week, that we were really both hoping that Tennessee could be the breakout team of this year and get this big win, and they did! And then they took the goalpost. I bet everybody saw that.
Yes.
That was awesome. I thought that was pretty great. Now they got to GoFundMe to pay the fine
I'm
or
pretty
something.
sure it's already paid for by the GoFundMe. It's close.
Wow.
It's close.
Well, I knew it'd get paid for. There was no way anybody was going to. I bet some alumni kicked some money their way. I mean, it's a big old deal.
Yeah, Peyton Manning.
I bet Peyton was like, yeah, screw the Crimson.
He was there. He was there for the game.
Exactly. So, yeah, super exciting win. I'm really excited for Tennessee. I am terrified, though, that they're going to get to the SEC Championship and lose, and then CFP time's going to come around, they're going to get ranked 5th.
Well,
but here's what I'm saying. I'm going to say I think they can. I really want them to. But there's a part of me that's scared. We've seen this happen before, Bama, where it's, they got this big loss in the regular season, and then that team goes on to closely lose to, I don't know who's upcoming on Tennessee's schedule.
We're going to talk about that in a second.
Okay. Well, I'm saying we've seen this happen before where they lose a close game and then they lose the SEC championship and then all of a sudden Bama's back in it.
Right. Well, really, Tennessee actually...
It is going to age really poorly, though, if Saban doesn't make the playoff this year, and he said last year was a rebuilding year. Remember that? He did that interview, and he said, last year was a rebuilding year for me. After they lost the national title, and everybody's like, wow, Belichick. I'm thinking that's going to look terrible if he doesn't even make the playoffs this year.
Right, because he might not. But Tennessee, see, they had crucial times when I thought, this game's over. They turned it over on downs twice, once in the first half, once in the second half. And that's when they had that big lead. They were up 28-10 at one point because Alabama fumbled a punt. And after that, couldn't do any. They scored that touchdown, then they ended up going in an offensive drought. But the stat lines are just crazy from this game, and even though Bryce Young loses the game, he still threw amazing. He was 35 of 52, 455 yards, 2 touchdowns. All right, Alabama did turn the ball over once, so that happened. And if we go look at Tennessee. Tennessee, they were able to have a dynamic attack against Alabama. And Alabama, I've been told, could not hold that much against the run. But Hendon Hooker threw 21 of 30, 385 yards, 5 touchdowns, threw an interception, though. And actually, Tennessee, not only did they turn it over on downs twice, they turned it over twice, and they still ended up beating Alabama. So that is what is amazing for them. They ran it for 182 on Alabama, and that's the thing. If you can run on Alabama for that much, that is what.
Alabama's got some of the best pass rush in the league too. in the league in college football, Alabama's got one of the best pass rushes. So maybe that's the way to do it. Maybe you should run.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because what's his face? The edge rusher for them. That's a stud. Can't remember his name.
I don't know. But.
I'll only look.
Anyway, upcoming schedule for Tennessee. So this week they got University of Tennessee, Martin. So that should be a win.
Mm-hmm.
All right, they got 2 tough games back to back. This is where we're going to separate.
Will Anderson Jr.
We're going to separate. Oh yes, we're going to separate the men from the boys here.
All right.
They got to host Kentucky in the rivalry, and that's a rivalry game right there. And then they have to go to Georgia. Because they are on the side.
That'll be the tough game.
So they're those both will be, because Mark Stoops will not just roll over for Tennessee. So those will be 2 tough games right there. And Kentucky likes to run the ball as well. So if Tennessee's defense can hold up, they have 3 easy games to end the year. They have Tennessee, South Carolina, who did upset Kentucky, and then Vanderbilt. So in reality, they should win 4 more games.
All right, I got something wild.
If Georgia does not lose at all. And I'd have to look at Georgia's schedule real quick, because unless they cross over with Alabama during the regular season, which I don't think they do, because I'm pretty sure they did that last year. But who says Tennessee can't beat Georgia, because they already beat Alabama?
I agree, but here's what I'm thinking, Quinn. Doomsday scenario. Tennessee loses to Kentucky, beats Georgia, messes everything up.
It does, but they have the tiebreaker hold. And then Georgia, they actually have 3 tough games back-to-back after they play Florida. They host Tennessee, as I said, later on. These are all in November. Then they have to go to Mississippi State against Mike Leach, and then they have to go to Kentucky. So there's going to be tough games for Georgia, even though they're a double-digit favorites over all those teams. So that's all I'm going to say.
So realistically, we're looking towards Tennessee, Georgia now. That's the big game.
Tennessee, Georgia, yes. As long as Tennessee gets past Kentucky, then yes.
I really hope this isn't one of those situations where they start to fall off after this. I really want to see. It's always more fun when there's that one weird team in the playoffs. It gets old when it just because it's always Georgia, Bama, Ohio State, and somebody else.
Right. There's a lot of weirdness going on in this. This is interesting. There's actually top games. There are actually top teams, and these conference championships. Well, they won't. Not in the Big Ten. It won't be. But in other conferences, they're going to be great. They're going to be great proxy battles to get to the playoffs.
It's not as wild as the NFL season, but it's still pretty wild.
It is pretty wild.
Do you see my tweet about how crazy this NFL season is?
Yes, I
I've
did.
really been loving it. I think you've been enjoying it too. You and I like it when it's a lot of parity, a lot of competitiveness.
Yeah.
You don't like dominance unless it's the Steelers.
Well, I don't like the Patriots dominating. Let's say it that way.
Okay, well,
Tom Brady.
If it was the Chiefs dominating every year, you wouldn't like it.
I mean, but I would kind of expect that, shouldn't I, with Mahomes?
Yeah, you should.
I've trained
you well.
But I guess here's the thing.
I'm glad you bought into Mahomes.
Even though let's say the Patriots dominated, all right? The Steelers and the Patriots were, kind of commingled and dominating from when Ben came in the league, all right? So let's just say 2008 to 2018. That was basically,
I don't know if the Steelers were dominating, dude.
Well, who's the second mantle to the Patriots?
The second mantle to the Patriots? It changed. It changed over time. AFC. It changed over time because the Steelers had their bit. Then the Chiefs took over after them.
Well, yeah, but that's not...
It's 2 different separate eras.
That's what I'm saying. I'm separating.
Oh, you're right. You said 2018. Yeah. I thought you were saying... I don't know why I thought you said 2018. Yeah, I guess
that's what I'm saying.
They were good.
That's what I'm saying. There's always going to be 2 teams. That's right now. It's going to be... They've been hyping this up for years. It might just happen. We're going to talk about this later, but it might be Chiefs-Bills. So there you go.
Underrated my Chargers, dude.
So, yeah, well...
The Ravens!
They barely beat the Broncos, so I'm not...
That's Staley's fault. He's got the talent.
I'm just saying. Okay. All right, enough on that, college. Let's get some. Let's talk about some real news here, and that would be that the NFL owners had a meeting this past week and discussed about the potential removal of Dan Snyder, who is currently the owner of the Washington Commanders. Essentially, with his scandals of the last couple years in a congressional inquiry into that, it's Jim Irsay said that there was merit to remove him. And Jim Irsay is the owner of the Indianapolis Colts. So, Ryan, do you see Dan Snyder being removed sooner rather than later?
This is getting freaking crazy. He's hired... I texted you about how he's hired private investigators, and he's got a bunch of dirt on the other owners, and Jerry Jones apparently told Roger Goodell in the last meeting he can kiss his... And so,
Yeah.
It's getting crazy. I think it'd be kind of interesting if all this crap comes out of all these different owners and things just kind of... it kind of hits the fan. Yeah, that'd be wild. I would like to see it happen. I think it's interesting. So I hope this doesn't just get swept underneath the rug, because if there's some real dirt, I think it should come to light, because we can't just let this bad stuff go on all the time. Eventually, it has to come out. It's like...
Right.
Yeah, I mean...
I know what you mean.
Does that make sense? We can't just act like... If the owners are doing shady stuff, we can't just let it go on forever. We should stop the shady stuff.
Right.
And
no, I'm with you.
If Dan Snyder, who I think is the king of the shady stuff, reveals everybody else's shady stuff,
right,
so be it.
Right.
So I'm kind of intrigued by all this.
Well, I think the thing is, the struggle is that, they've had all these reports. They've had the allegations about sexual harassment in the workplace. The culture is terrible.
The terrible stadium.
Going on from that. Yes, the stadium. Well, here's the big thing is, the problem, they basically, what it sounds like, even after all that, and maybe the owners are finally owning up, but you still have to get 3/4 of them to vote to remove. All right? Super majority. But it's kind of like you have to get him, you have to catch Dan Snyder with his hand in the cookie jar. People, even though he's near the cookie jar, he's not in the cookie jar. And that's the problem. I think some of the owners are not going to do that until it happens. Because, these are all wealthy people. And let's remember, these aren't just normal wealthy people. They're wealthy people that own a team. And that's what makes, that's what strokes the ego, all right? I'm not going to say it doesn't, because they're in that world. Bridging their wealth. So, personally, yes, he should be removed. Now, the timeline, I don't think it's going to come anytime soon until something bigger comes out about what's going on in Washington. So, if Jim Irsay has something, and maybe the other owners know things about that maybe it'll be time to cut ties. And I don't know who would even be interested in bidding for that team because
you and I could do it.
Well, I'm not interested.
You and I don't want to fix the commies? What if I make you a deal? We change it back to WFT.
How about, here's the problem.
Would you prefer WTF?
How about WTF, WFT?
There it is.
Here's the problem.
Someone
all right, and this is what's compared. We have to compare baseball and we have to compare MLB and NBA to NFL. NFL, you're capped on how much you can spend. All right, yes, you can make a team, but you can only do so much through the draft, and you can't. I mean, you can spend on free agents, but you can't do that. There's no luxury tax in NFL. It's just the cap.
Oh, you're right. There is no luxury tax. Sorry, I forgot.
So that's what's different. In the NBA and the MLB, you can spend. You're gonna have to pay the luxury tax. So
and most teams won't do it in the NBA.
Right. But those big teams, except the Golden State Warriors,
well, they got it.
They're trying to keep that team together.
That's a Silicon Valley too.
It is. But if you look like you can't get somebody that has the value or the worth of a Steve Cohen, even if they bought an NFL team, they can't pump all the money in there for salaries compared to what they can do in MLB because they can come in and start buying things in.
Yeah, it's the same. The most you could do is fix up the extra state, give them more perks.
Yeah,
of course, there's a bunch of crap that they can do under the table where it's, oh, you come to my team, magically your dad's now working at the stadium.
Pistons win their opening game.
Woo!
There you go.
Excellent. Who are they playing again?
They're playing the Magic.
Oh, they suck. Yeah, that's right. Jaden Ivey probably had like 18 too. Check it for me.
But anyway.
No, I'm just excited about that now.
So, well,
that made my night.
Yeah, so that's just what's going to be interesting. It'll be a lot of work for whoever does end up buying that team to come in. But, all right, it's time for toss-up. 2 men enter. 1 man leaves. Another one stays here and goes up and finishes the Yankees-Astros after this. What's first over the loudspeaker? Better Broadway, baby. New York Giants or New York Jets?
I think the Giants. I think the Jets are fun, but I still think they're like, I think they're very competitive, but I think they're one of those where in that division, they're taking the spot the Dolphins would have had if they could have had Tua healthy, because Tua was looking great. And I think we should all admit that to ourselves and to everyone, that Tua looked great. And I think if the Dolphins are still there, what? Ivy had 15? 21? 1? 5. Oh, 1, 9. 19. Okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
Sadiq Bey had 8.
Well, Sadiq can take a night off.
He started.
Let Sadiq chill out. Let Sadiq. He's being a team player. It's my guy. All right. Good for Jaden. All right.
You're taking the Giants.
Yes, taking the Giants because the Jets, I feel like, have kind of taken that spot the Dolphins would have had. And if the Dolphins were there, I think it'd be a little harder on them. By the end of the year, though, I think the Jets are going to step up in the next couple years and be a big team. The Giants, to me, are a team now. Like, I think the Giants are ready to compete this year and compete for a wild card spot. Saquon, we know, can be an amazing running back as long as he's healthy. In college, he's one of the best college running backs probably of all time. Like, he had an incredible season. I'll never forget watching him in college. He was awesome. Like, incredible.
That's the team that got passed over for Ohio State for the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Which was wrong.
No, yeah. And that, Trace McSorley. Big Trace. So, love Trace McSorley. Coach Franklin's still, right?
Yeah, he's still there.
Yep. So, Saquon, we know could be a stud. Danny Dimes is obviously the weakest part of the team, but, as long as he can be solid, it doesn't really matter because they've got a good defense. I mean, and then offensively, they built a really good O-line. They drafted Evan Neal. And then, defensively, it's their pass rush. Kayvon Thibodeau is there. Jason Pierre-Paul.
They drafted him, too? Yeah. Not Jason Pierre-Paul.
No, not Pierre-Paul. It's, who am I thinking of?
I don't know who you're thinking of because Jason Pierre-Paul's on the Ravens.
yeah, I had to think about that too. I don't know why I said Jason Pierre-Paul. I'm thinking of somebody. Point is, they have a good pass rush. So, secondary isn't crazy. Quarterback play is obviously the weakest part, but they're a competitive team. They play tough, and Dayball's got them in a good direction. So, to me, they're the better team. But I think in the coming years, the Jets will be better.
So, for now, the thing is I was just looking at schedules. They've both beaten the Packers. That's the thing. Think about this.
Told you. We know the Packers aren't that good,
I
though.
mean, yeah, but...
You want to talk about a crap division. That NFC North, I do not like.
But we did not accept... Well, the Vikings are doing well.
They are.
We did not expect the Jets to go to Lambeau and beat the Packers, though.
I agree.
I picked them.
You did.
I
went
did.
8-0 in the picks.
I'm not... Oh, I don't want to reveal that news now. But I didn't think
sorry
it would
to spoil it.
I didn't think it would be a 17-point victory. I should say it that way.
It was a big win.
The Packers looked awful. I mean, it was just bad. I mean, I was watching 5 games on Sunday. I mean, that's what I like to do, just to see what's going on. And they were just dreadful. Very dreadful. So, and I'm going to go with you. I'm going to agree with the Giants right now, because here's the thing. The Jets, they're going to run into a buzzsaw at some point, and their name is the Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
All right, so they got to go through them. I mean, and they haven't played the Patriots yet. Not saying the Patriots could beat them, but they could. And because that's going to be strength on strength, defensive front versus rushing the ball. And then they had to play Miami with Tua next time instead of with a mix of Thompson and Bridgewater. So division-wise, there it is. The Giants, I mean, they have the Eagles and the Cowboys, but they lost to the Cowboys once already.
I think they're better than the Cowboys.
And they should have beat the Cowboys in that game. So that's where I'm going to say I'm taking the Giants right now. I think they can make the playoff.
I like them better than the Cowboys.
So,
especially now they're starting Dak again. I know Cooper looked bad, but I don't like Dak at all.
Cooper did not. Okay, we're going to talk about it in a little second. Next, who you got on Saturday? Oregon Ducks or UCLA Bruins?
I think I kind of got to go UCLA here, right? I feel like UCLA isn't what?
Don't ask me.
I know. Like UCLA is ranked. What are they right now?
Okay, this is a top 10 matchup here. The
Aren't
Bruins
they 9?
are 9 and the Ducks are 10.
Yeah, I know UCLA is ranked higher.
But it's only a spot.
It's not Chip Kelly though, still is it, or is it?
Yes, it is.
It is still Chip Kelly. I'm not a huge Chip Kelly guy.
Oh, I am a Chip Kelly fan.
I will go UCLA because Chip Kelly. I do get what you're saying. He's got some. He has turned that program into something.
Yes,
I will give him credit.
I liked Chip Kelly when he was at Oregon. He was good at the Eagles too. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened there. They traded him. They didn't like him anymore, so they traded him away. But I'm going to take the Bruins as well. This is a revenge game right here. I mean, Chip Kelly's got a good team. It's got and he can go. I gotta check. Oh,
is this pretty much Pac-12 championship?
This is not, because the Pac. So I was going to talk about a little bit. The Pac-12 is.
Oh yeah, you said USC, yeah.
Big, very competitive this year. They are at Oregon though, so he is going to have to go to Eugene and win. But let's talk about the Pac-12 here just a bit. The Pac-12 is having a quietly good year, kind of like the Big 12. They got 4 teams in the top 15. They got UCLA at 9, Oregon 10, USC at 12, and Utah, after beating USC, has moved up to 15th this week.
You and I did say USC was fake. We talked about that.
Well, we thought
there was a chance that USC wasn't as good as.
Okay, but they lost to Utah by 1. I'm not going to say they're fake.
You're right.
The
but I'm saying
defense is awful. This is classically.
They were ranked exceptionally high because it's Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams.
Yes.
Utah has become a good program.
So
over the last couple years, Utah every year is competitive.
Yes. So
and they usually get a big shock win.
This is going to be good.
But you're right. USC isn't bad. They're a good team.
The Big Pac-12 is having a quietly good football season. And 2 of those teams will not be there in 2 seasons. So
this would be a great year to have the 8-team playoff.
Yep. And it's not going to happen.
Nope.
Not yet.
Not yet.
So next. More impressive win on Sunday, Buffalo Bills or Philadelphia Eagles?
I got to go with the Eagles here because the Bills looked good, and I think well, it was more competitive game. The Eagles beat the piss out of the Cowboys.
Yes, they did.
They ran it down their throats. It was done, game over.
Yep.
By the first half, I was like, okay, this game's over. Sunday Night Football's done. I can go to bed because it was like the Eagles looked great. Jalen Hurts MVP chance should start up now. I mean, I said it week 3 that I was like, Jalen Hurts might be on the MVP tour. He's looking great. Darius Slay, the defense looked good. Mm-hmm. Did he get 2 picks? No, I think the secondary had 2 picks as a whole, but he had 1.
Yes, he had 1.
So the Eagles looked like everything and more. I've been backing them since pretty much week 1. So I'm.
Except for last week, because you took the Cowboys.
And I said, I texted
and
you.
you said the Cowboys.
I said I should have sinned. I mean, I should have sinned. I texted you. I said I've sinned. I went against the Birds.
Because yes, and last week on this program, you said that the Eagles haven't played a real team, so that's why they're going to lose. Well,
I expected
they did, and they lost.
And they
did, and they won.
Them.
Excuse me.
I won't bet against the Birds
again. They branded
again.
the Cowboys.
I won't bet against the Birds
reverse. again. The Cowboys are doing the branding. Well, this time they got branded. That's how it's going to be. I'm taking the Bills because, duh.
Yeah, because you're a Bills backer.
I mean, the Bills went to Kansas City. Did we have to say anything else? And not only did they do that, they intercepted Patrick Mahomes to end the game. So
True.
That's it. That's all I have to say. And I think they offensively called a very well game, and defensively, even though their secondary is still a little bit beat up, they held up well against Patrick Mahomes. So
yeah,
that was a good game. Great calls by Jim and Tony. This reminds me, I did not get to mention this when we were talking in the first question, but you and I really liked Bob Costas calling the ALDS for TBS.
We did,
there.
yeah.
So too bad he's not doing the ALCS on TBS, but hopefully he'll get to expand some more roles there, because Bob Costas used to call baseball on NBC when it used to have a contract for MLB, which is it's so crazy how NBC used to have the big contracts for the NBA and the MLB, and they don't have anything involved. They just do football.
Because ABC's NBA, ABC and TNT are NBA, TBS and FS.
Which ABC really wasn't NBA until ESPN,
ESPN
acquired them.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
Well, they acquired it.
Or other way around.
Yeah.
So,
and then and it's TBS and Fox for baseball.
And Fox. And
then for NFL, the three always switch.
Yep. So 4.
Who's the fourth? Does it ABC get a Super Bowl too?
Not a Super Bowl.
They get Monday night.
They get Monday night.
ESPN.
ABC and ESPN. So they've got more Monday night games now than usual. So
Which the Monday night slate has been, and I think right at the
Thursday night has been the worst. So let's just.
Well,
there's 5 technically. Actually, there's 5 now because you have Amazon. You have Amazon, ESPN/ABC.
Didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Yep. NBC,
well, the nice thing is half
Fox.
the time the Amazon broadcasts I have trouble getting. Which doesn't matter because there's only been one Thursday night football game that was a good slate, and that was the
first
Chiefs.
one.
No, it's second one. No, those first 2 were good. Sorry, the first 2
The
were
first
good.
one was that one.
They didn't have a week 1?
They didn't have week 1.
Oh, then you're right. Yeah, it was the first one.
Remember?
They started it good, and then they were like, all right, never mind.
They had 2 good ones to start to bring in the viewers.
Yep, you're right.
So they had the 2 good matchups to start.
Yep.
All right, next. Last one. Who should be a quarterback for the Patriots this Sunday? Bailey Zappi or Mac Jones?
Quick thing, by the way. Didn't we say that Sunday night was best slate overall? So
pretty
far,
sure
it
we
looks
did.
like Monday's giving a run for its money. Monday's been really good.
We'd have to listen to it.
Yeah, we'll go back to the end of the year. I got to go with Mac here. I think really the biggest reason we're talking about this is because it's the Patriots, and there's obviously the most famous situation of a backup coming in and killing it. And I don't think it's one of those. I think the thing is with Bailey Zappi is the fact that Belichick knows what he's doing. Belichick knows how to train guys to go into his system. So realistically, he could probably get me in there, and I would look at least decent in the Patriots system as long as you follow what Bill wants. That's why Cam Newton never looked good in there, because he wouldn't follow the Belichick system. So realistically,
he was not a Belichick quarterback.
No.
I mean,
if Belichick gets the type of guy he wants, he will have some form of success. And the way you get a lot of success is by being able to do what Belichick wants and then some. And I think Mac Jones provides that. Zappi's doing really well. I think it's really nice that they have a good backup like him. He's actually a third string.
He's a rookie.
Yeah, and I think it's really nice that they have a guy like that. But it's a prime example of, to me, how good of a coach Belichick is by just, he can take a guy that on most teams would look terrible, I think, honestly. If he went out for the Dolphins next week, he would look bad. But the fact he's on the Patriots, he fits within that system. He follows the Belichick rules, and he plays well. So I think it's still Mac. I wouldn't get too excited. I think Mac is the more natural talent, and then he still follows Belichick rules. So I think Mac's the guy. But props to Zappi. He has looked really good.
Well, I mean, I think Belichick's going back to Mac Jones if he's healthy this week and ready to go.
Mac's his boy.
But here's the thing. I don't know how you can get rid of Zippy Zappy right now, because in the 3 games he's played in, he's already thrown. In the first game, they ran the ball a lot more against Green Bay before letting him actually throw the ball. But he is thrown for 600 yards almost, and his completion percentage is 71%.
What college you go to?
You can't meet that. I'm pretty sure it was Western Kentucky. Remember we talked about this where he broke the record with the most passing yards and the most passing touchdowns for FBS. So, I mean, this week he carved up Cleveland, 24 of 34, 309 yards,
so happy they won.
71% completion percentage, 2 tutties for him. I mean, I don't know how you can't get rid of the hot hand right now for him. And if you look at the Patriots right now,
having a better season than expected. I'm very happy.
They're playing the Bears this week. I don't see why you're not playing Zappy. I think if
well, just to keep Max safe too, right? Just give him a week off.
If he doesn't need it, yeah. If he's not needed, so
it's the Bears. I mean, you can carve them up.
It is the Bears. So.
The thing is, I love watching. I've actually really figured out. I finally, after all these years, figured out how to watch Belichick games because now that there's no Brady. He does a lot more of his Belichick-isms, like the way he uses the runs and the way he does things.
Yes, how he probably did things pre-Brady.
Yeah, he does it. They play more like the 2002 Patriots team. Ever since I got Mac, I've started
2002 Brady was playing. But
yeah,
yes.
But you know what I mean. He wasn't doing his...
Right.
2002 Brady's very different than 2014, the way they're doing things. So I'm saying he had to go back to his old school, the way he ran his defense with the very bend-don't-break mentality, and the way he runs, like, very conservatively. Like, he had to really go back to his old school Belichick, and I freaking love watching it. It's night and day from when I watch Ravens games, but, like, I love watching the way that he's got the Patriots going this year. I'm not sure if they're going to be in a wild card spot this year, but I think next year they're going to be, like, a legit threat to be, like, a wild card team that might make it to the Super Bowl because I just think he's got a good system, and I think Mac fits in there really well, and I think they're the classic Patriots thing where, like, if Stevenson was on any other team, I probably don't know his name, but on the Patriots, he kills it.
Yep.
And that's just the way it always. Damian Harris, used to be the same way there. Is he still there, right?
He's still there. He's just injured.
Yeah, that's what it is. I was like, yeah, Damian Harris is still there. Same way. Damian Harris goes anywhere else, probably not that good. With them, looks great.
Yep. All right, before Ryan's special section, quick update. Middle of the 6th right here. Yanks and Astros are tied at 1. Astros blew an opportunity to score. They had bases loaded in the bottom of the 5th.
Who came with
Verlander is probably done. Tucker was batting. Grounded to double play. But Verlander is probably done because he is at over 100 pitches now through 6 innings. He's got 10 strikeouts to open the series up, which is great for him. All right. We're on to Ryan's special section. What do you got?
Okay, I actually was going to do more of a research-based special section.
Yep, you talked about this last week.
But I didn't have a chance. Like I just didn't get around to it. I've been busy. So I actually finished my college application. So that's what I've been doing. Yeah. So it's kind of a big old deal. And I was like,
oh, it is a big deal.
And then as you see, I rearranged the basement.
Yes.
The studio is completely different.
But yes.
You can see.
Do
you like your new chair?
I do like the new chair. Now, what is this studio called? Because, we open, I don't know if you've ever watched a Today Show ever. Have you watched the Today Show when they open it up?
No.
Okay. So they say from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza. What studio number are we?
Yeah, what do you want to be? I don't know.
Are you 1RC?
1RC? Maybe, right? I don't know. What's something of significance? I got to think on that.
You can think about that. I'll give you a little project.
Maybe it's 1970 because I got the Cavaliers,
got the
1970s,
yep.
wine and gold
yes,
hung up.
Yes, you do.
Studio 197? Studio 1970? I don't know how to make 1970 roll off the tongue.
That'd
really
be interesting. Yeah, you have to think about that.
I don't know. It's Studio Schwarzenegger because we got the Terminator poster.
You got Terminator right here. It's going to go up
We've been meaning to hang it up for like a year now.
Yeah.
Studio Schwarzenegger, you like that?
That's fine. Former
no, T1000. That's the studio T1000 because that's the Terminator.
Okay.
Studio T1000.
See?
That's pretty cool.
There
I like
go.
that. We're doing
T1000.
We're Studio T1000.
T1000.
Good movie reference. All right.
So.
Great. So
anyway.
It is around the Halloweeny time. It's the Spooktober Spectacular, right?
Yeah, we got 2 weeks exactly.
Exactly. And so I thought...
Not really, because today's Wednesday.
I think for fun, we're going to run through... We've been doing movie stuff, so let's, wrap up the little bit of movies, because next week we'll do more of a research thing, with Halloween classics.
Okay.
So I need one that's more for the kiddies.
One for the kiddies.
One for the kiddies.
Like as in Spookly the Square Pumpkin? You don't even know what Spookly is?
No, I love Spookly. Like,
okay,
actually, that's my running gag is people be like, what's your favorite horror movie? And I say Spookly.
Spookly Square Pumpkin.
So you're much more of a horror movie guy than me. Yeah. So I need one for the kiddies. I need one slasher.
Okay.
I need one that's like more supernatural.
Okay.
Like The Exorcist, something like that.
Okay.
And then one that's whatever you want.
Okay.
For
Are you doing this? Is it just for me? Because you don't really watch any horror
I don't really watch many
So
horror
I guess
movies.
it's all me. Okay. So for the kids...
And then, actually, after you name this off, I need... give me some recommendations on what I should watch. Because you know what I like to watch. And I'm saying, what horror movies or like Halloween movies you think I would enjoy. So do that first. It's for the kids. Come on, Charlie Brown.
No.
You going? What's the house one?
Monster House is what I'm doing.
Monster House. Yes. Classic.
Yes, that's very good.
Classic.
Very good one. Because it's not really. It doesn't really revolve around Halloween. It's basically here's a scary house that turns into a monster.
Yeah.
When it's Halloween. So, but it's very good. And I have it on DVD. I watch it every year. That's one of the ones I watch.
I'm shocked you didn't go with
every
Girl
year.
vs. Monster, the Disney Channel classic.
Never seen it.
I have. It's quite the film.
So, Charlie Brown is good, but that's not my favorite Charlie Brown special. Mine is, it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then Halloween.
I actually
That is
completely
how mine
agree
is.
with you. Thanksgiving is my favorite also.
Thanksgiving is the best. I mean, come on, Peppermint Patty. Come on,
When Snoopy fights the chair, classic scene. Classic.
Yes, and Snoopy is the cook.
Yep.
As well.
Excellent film.
I'm right. And then we had Slasher, and then what was the third one? Can you tell me what the third one was?
More supernatural ones, like The Conjuring.
Okay. So Slasher,
Exorcist, something like that.
And then I said I can do one of my favorites, right?
Yep.
That's my last one. So I know the last one is going to be Scream. We're going to save that for
Okay.
Slasher-wise, that's interesting. I think Halloween is probably the best rated one.
Just the original
Halloween.
The original John Carpenter.
Okay. That's probably the best one. If I have to say... Here's the thing: is Friday the 13th? It's got 12 movies in it, but obviously the first four are really what makes it. It's really the first two, but the first one, Friday the 13th, it's not Jason. It's his mother. It's Mrs. Voorhees.
Really?
Yes, and then Jason comes on Friday the 13th too. So that's it. I have started Nightmare on Elm Street. I never finished it. I actually fell asleep in it, so maybe that's what tells you. That's what tells you how good that one is.
Is Nightmare on Elm Street the one with Freddy Krueger?
Freddy Krueger, yes. Yes.
And that's one of Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Young Johnny Depp?
Maybe. I don't really know the
Pretty sure he's
cast
in
because
there,
I haven't seen that once. So
He fell asleep.
So I am going to go with Halloween for now on the slasher. Now, Supernatural, I can debate between...
Don't you like The Ring?
I like The Ring. That's the one I was going to go with. I will mention Insidious in here, the Insidious franchise. I like... The first one is the best one. And there's supposed to be a fifth one coming out, but if the original lady that is the, I'll call her the psychic, Elise, if she's not in the fifth one, there's no point. There's no point in having the fifth one, because if you don't have the original cast, what's the point?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like this. They're having Scream 6 come out, and if Neve Campbell is not in there, what is the point of this? Is there any point? She is Sidney Prescott. She stays there. I mean, that's how it should be. But as I roll through some of these,
Get Out, favorite of yours. I don't know if you count that
Yes.
as a Halloween movie, though.
I've seen Get Out. Yes, I wouldn't call it. I'd just call it a horror.
What about The Shining?
The Shining? I've seen it. That's good. I wouldn't call it Halloween either. It's set in the wintertime, actually.
I've actually would
It's kinda
probably
like
watch
Carrie.
that because it's Kubrick, and I feel like I'd find that interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of like Carrie or Children of the Corn. They're really not. You know, they play like Silence of the Lambs was just on BBC America. I watched that this week. They're not really. They're not Halloween movies. They're just horror movies. That's the thing.
It's kind of like Scooby-Doo. I don't think Scooby-Doo, like the movie, the one with like Freddie Prinze Jr.,
Yes.
Matthew Lillard, I don't think you'd put that as a Halloween movie. It's just kind of like a fun movie.
Right. I mean, now the other two slashers I did not mention would be to talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre or Leatherface. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original's good. But it's still, that wouldn't be my favorite. But my franchise would be the Scream franchise. We talked about this earlier. Gonna watch Scream and Scream 2 hopefully next week.
So I feel like I'll actually enjoy that because
good.
they're a little more comedy kind of on the side, too.
Yes. I mean, it's
And I love Matthew Lillard.
And see, that's what brings it. That's nice about Scary Movie. The first one, because it's a combination of I Know What You Did Last Summer with Scream, because it's a parody film. So that's a good one. It's not really.
Yeah, and Sarah Michelle Gellar's in it. I always like seeing her. So
Yes. So, that's how I am with Halloween. Obviously, kid-wise, I do watch all the Scooby-Doo Halloween episodes, which
Of course.
is a Scooby-Doo Halloween
3-1
starring
Astros.
Kiss and Vampire Bats and Scaredy Cats. They take Scooby-Dum along with them to to Skull Island
oh my, yeah.
to see Gramp the Vamp.
Are you gonna watch
That's
the one,
a good
with the Boo Brothers? Do you remember that one?
No, I do have that. That's actually one of my top 5. direct. Well, it was a TV film, but Scooby-Doo movies. Because it's not Halloween. It's just Shaggy getting his inheritance. So but you got those. You have they did a Halloween special with the Scarecrow, Spooky Scarecrow. They also have the Headless Horseman with Scooby down there as well. So those are the 4 that I will be watching for Halloween for Scooby-Doo. Those are the best.
And maybe next week we will do our first ever movie.
Yes, we might get the movie review game that we talked about in the first week. So that's it. I have recorded. I think I have not recorded that many other than Halloween. I think for scary movies yet. So I'm looking forward to it.
Get started, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta get started. It's about time. So, yeah, that's all I got.
All right, last thing. Speaking of scary, because it's Halloween time.
Oh, I didn't talk about the Supernatural. I'm sorry, I did not talk about the Supernatural.
You did.
I said I was going to talk about The Ring.
Yeah.
I didn't even talk about The Ring. Ring is a great movie. Naomi Watts is the star.
My cousin really likes that movie.
Um,
Doesn't she finds like a tape and then
yes, so the tape about this girl that ended up being drowned in a well, and she ends up traveling all the way to this horse barn, and it is phenomenal. It is a great movie. It's actually based on a Japanese film that has this similar premise. It is just a fantastic film, and I mean,
$250 million at box office is a pretty good amount.
yeah, it's a very good amount. I mean, it was
Hans Zimmer did the score.
Now the sequel was awful, so don't watch that. But yeah, so it started there. Yeah, it's in Seattle, and then I don't know exactly where the island is. It must be in the northwest corner, is what I'm going to go with.
Yeah.
Geographically, since they're in Seattle. But David Dorfman is the kid, and I forget what he actually ends up doing later in his career. But no, it's a very good film. It got very high ratings. My dad actually introduced me to it because he just had first watched it in the early 2010s, and it's a very good film. So hopefully that fuels your insight. Maybe could you be up for The Ring? Would you be able to survive?
I don't know. It was a little scary for me. You'll start off at light.
Well, yeah, we can start off Scream 2, and end up with The Ring.
Yeah, that's a big jump, Q. It's a big jump for me. Come on.
Okay, so maybe Christmas time. Well, we got Christmas movies to watch.
Then we got Christmas movies. Maybe we'll have to see.
So, anyway, okay, that's all I have for there. Anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, one last thing. Speaking of scary, which NFL player would you be the most afraid of if they showed up at your house and scared you? Like on Jimmy Kimmel, where he'll get surprised by a celebrity.
Okay.
So imagine this: you're walking to the fridge, you open it up for a nice late night glass of warm milk. You turn around, bam! Aaron Donald's there.
Yeah.
And he goes to sack you.
See,
which guy would you not want to see?
I think that's not all I can think of. Our defensive linemen in that.
Well, yeah, right. They're going to sack you.
Right. I mean, and the 4 that I immediately thought of were obviously 2 of my own: T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward.
Yep.
Miles Garrett.
Yep.
Aaron Donald.
To me, personally, Cam Hayward, I've seen too many interviews with him. I think he's a really
really nice guy.
Super nice guy.
Out on the field, he has a motor that never ends.
Yeah, true.
So that's the thing.
We saw him almost get in a fight with the Patriots after the game.
Yes.
Well, was it during the last minutes of the last game? I say it's Garrett, because Garrett looks like the Incredible Hulk as a human.
Plus, he put all those quarterback tombstones.
Yeah. No, it's
last
Garrett.
year.
To me, it's Garrett. If Garrett, get the cartoonish strike of lightning and Garrett's standing there, I'm going to pee myself, dude. I'm being dead serious. It's going to be bad. I'm going to have to clean up the whole kitchen. It's going to smell terrible because Myles Garrett made me pee myself, dude. He's a scary man. You know what's even worse is if he wears those Color Rush Browns uniforms, then I'm really scared. I don't like the orange on the brown.
Is that the all-brown one?
It's the all-brown with the orange numbers. I don't like it.
Yeah.
The regular uniforms, I think, are outstanding. The white numbers on the brown, I think it looks great.
Yes, those are fine.
It's the orange on the brown. It's like, no, this isn't right.
No.
You need to get with the Padres, dude. Yellow-brown. That's where it's at.
Sure. Okay.
Wait, who's your answer? Who do you think I'm most scared of? Garrett?
I gave you 4.
Yeah, but who's the number 1? Which one are you most scared of?
I think I'm probably agreeing with Myles Garrett with you.
Scary fella.
So, I mean, he's intimidating.
He is.
That's all I'm going to say. All right. We're on to Quinn's questions here. Now, last week, couldn't get my video it would disappear. Whoever put this up on YouTube of the Jeopardy episode that day, it disappeared. So, now I got it. It's back. So we're going to do, it might be triple Jeopardy today, depending on what Ryan is up for. So Ryan, in this first one,
Okay.
you want to do the easy one first or the hard one?
Let's get easy first. Get me going.
So the easy one first is 2022 sports news. So let's see what Ryan's got to do here.
22 sports news for 8. This Midwestern hoops powerhouse showed its mettle, besting North Carolina in a March Madness title thriller.
Kansas. What is Kansas?
Chris. What is Kansas? That's correct. 2022 Sports News 1000. Washington, D.C.'s NFL team took charge of their future, choosing this as their new team name.
Who are the communists? I'm kidding. Commanders.
What is Commanders? Good. Oh my 8.
I don't know the oh my.
Yeah, you need to know oh my. I gotta get moving.
Ken Jennings didn't even laugh at my commie joke. Neither did you. It's disappointing.
600. At the WNBA All-Star Game, both teams wore the uniform of this star, then on trial in Russia.
What is Brittany Griner?
Chris. Who is Griner? Brittany Griner, right.
Who is
Black
Griner?
Business 1000.
So Ryan's got 2,400 right now. He is running the category.
Going for the sweep. Going for the sweep, baby.
This will be the first one he has swept.
Yeah, I'm going for it. Well, when you have a 2022 sports podcast, it's hard to miss these.
Yes, this is true.
2022 Sports News 4. Because they refused to do this, Novak Djokovic missed the Australian Open, and Kyrie Irving missed Nets home games.
What is a COVID vaccination?
Dan, what is get vaccinated? Yes, get vaccinated is correct. Sports News 200. On the heels of the Winter Olympics, the 2022 Paralympics...
Crap! Why'd you do this to me? The Paralympics... Oh, crap. On the heels of the 2022 Olympics... Okay, I'm going to go with... What is Tokyo? Just in the same place. Come on.
Chris, what is Beijing? Good.
Balls.
Lions, 400.
Balls.
Yes, it was in Beijing.
Well, I still won a lot of money.
Yes, you got 2,600
I almost ran the category.
from that. All right, now I'm going to give you the hard one. Now, this one's hard because the category...
Is this something I'm not going to get?
No, I only got a couple of them. I think I only got one.
You think I can get it? When you gave me Cobra Kai, you were doing me big favors.
No, I know. Okay, this is anagrammed Bible people. So, you're going to have a word, or maybe two words, and they're scrambled, and with those letters, make up the name of a Bible person.
So like Joseph.
Yes, so it's scrambled up in there.
Okay.
So here we go.
That's really hard on my brain, right?
Anagram Bible people, 600. Big cats did no harm. Nailed.
Daniel. Who is Daniel?
Kate.
Who is Daniel?
An anagram of nailed, yes.
Anagram for 8?
Baptist parent. Bail these.
Who is Bail these?
This is how I started out. You got Daniel and you couldn't figure anything else out.
Bail these. No clue.
That would be John the Baptist's mom, Elizabeth. Kate.
Viable people for 1,000.
A Roman governor. Tailpipe snout.
Roman governor. Tailpipe snout. Moses. I'm just taking a shot in the dark.
Moses has all those letters in its name.
I'm just trying to make a guess here, Q.
It's Pontius Pilate. That is correct. From the
Pontius
Gospel.
Pilate. I should have got that. He's a famous fella.
So, you're down to
Infamous.
400.
I'm losing my money? No.
Negative 400 right now.
Well,
for
is
this
that counting
category.
my... Okay, for the
200.
category.
He got stoned. Hag toil.
Hag toil. He got stoned.
Think about it. Who got stoned? Obvious one.
I thought Jesus was stoned. Right? Am I stupid? Crap. Listen, I missed church Sunday. This is not paying off.
This has nothing to help.
He got stoned. Dude, Who's got the big rock? The.
Think about the letters.
Hag toil. Well, it can be ga or ag. There's no good way to make hag. Oh wait, they all go together.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He scrambled them together.
Oh, I didn't know they made two words. Who's got a G in their name?
He didn't. Yeah, it doesn't have to. They can all
Yeah,
come
that
together
makes
as
sense.
one word. Yeah.
Well, then no wonder I missed the freaking Pontius Pilate one.
Well, and you also only guessed Moses. I mean, come on. There are more letters there than Moses.
I was just trying to take my best guess. G, he got stoned.
5 seconds.
There's the guy with, I don't know.
Stoned. Hag toil. Dan, what is Goliath? That's correct.
I'm stupid. That's my favorite when I was younger. That was my
favorite story?
That was my favorite Bible story. Probably still is. I like David vs. Goliath a lot. I feel like an idiot. Okay. I'm upset.
All right.
I'm failing.
Is New York? Yes. Bible people, 4. Old timer. Health muse.
Old timer. Abraham. Who's Abraham?
Dan, what is Methuselah? Yes. Black business.
What the heck? I don't even know
Yeah.
what Methuselah is.
Yes, as old as Methuselah. Don't you know that phrase?
Oh my gosh, Q.
Okay.
You know how sad this is a
You
this
got
is
the
a
hard
terrible
one out of the
criticism of my
Your Bible knowledge.
my Bible knowledge. You're
I
like,
got
all right,
actually,
look at this
yeah.
guy. He knows all the 2022
Now that I
sports
triggered my
news.
memory,
He
I
couldn't
got
even get
3
Pontius
of them.
Pilate.
I got 3 of them. I got the 2, 4, and 6. I did not get those bottom 2. I did not.
Gosh, balls. Dang it. That was tough, Q.
That is tough. Well, we're gonna give you an easy one here, because I got one.
You got one more for me?
I have one more for you. If I can read.
Give me a
what
win
I
at the
wrote.
end. When you gave me Cobra Kai, dude, I should have gotten all those, but I missed the frickin' REO Speedwagon one, because in my defense, it's not Cobra Kai related. It's just basic knowledge. I don't have basic knowledge. I have Cobra Kai knowledge.
315.
Come on.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Let's see it.
Let me just make sure. I'm pretty sure the category is that's their sport, but we're gonna double check real quick before I give you the wrong thing. It is that's their sport. All right. They'll give you the athletes. You just have to name the sport.
Oh, I should be able to get
Okay.
this. Yep.
And
Chris, start us off. Sport for 800.
hold on. No.
Sport 1000. Diana Taurasi, Tamika Catchings.
What is women's basketball?
Zach. What is basketball? That's right. Sport for 800. Michaela Schifrin, Peekaboo Street.
Kayla Schifrin. I know that name. Gymnastics?
Chris. What is skiing? Yes.
Crap.
Hodgepre.
So you're down to 200. Let's start off
Not
here.
terrible. You know, when I get out of the major stuff, I start to struggle. Crap.
Sayri Pak, Annika Sorenstam.
Don't worry, I did not know this one either. This is what kept me. If this is what prevented me from the sweep. In the
Swimming.
category.
Chris. What is golf? Correct. Sign.
Crap. I only know like Bryce DeChambeau.
Yes, because I believe they were both
It's like the only
foreign
like,
golfers.
Yeah,
on
those
the
are foreign
Girl
golfers.
Tour.
That's their sport for 400. Naomi Osaka, Martina Hingis.
Tennis, right?
Remember your phrasing.
Chris.
What is tennis?
Yes. History 1000.
I just need to do that. So here, you got the 1,000. You missed on the 8 and the 6. You were in the hole 400.
Okay, let's
you
get
got
this.
you got the 4. You're at the 0. Let's see if you can get a positive 2 out of
Okay,
this.
let's
They
see.
speak Amharic. You're right. Sport 200. Brianna Scurry, Megan Rapinoe.
I'm gonna guess
Oh, come on!
Brianna Scurry. Brianna Scurry is what he said.
And Megan Rapinoe.
I don't know, dude. I'm gonna go. I shouldn't say softball. It's not the right. What is volleyball?
Zach. What is soccer? Yeah.
Crap.
Soccer!
You know I don't watch soccer, dude. I'm sorry. You know
You don't have to watch soccer.
I've really looked bad. That was U.S. women's teams, wasn't
Yes!
it? Yeah, I know.
I don't know if they both were, but you know.
Rapinoe isn't she?
Rapinoe is,
Yeah,
yes.
I know.
So
I
you
knew the
had
name. I just couldn't remember what it was.
2,600.
Did I lose this week?
Negative 800. Negative 200. You came out with a net 1,600, excuse me.
Wow. I got carried by the 2022.
Yes, you did. I thought you'd do better, and that's their sport.
Me too.
I missed that middle one with the golf because I did
Rapinoe
not know
I should have
anything.
got. I should have got.
That's what I thought you get it. Schifrin, that's hard. If you don't watch Olympics, then you don't know.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
That was well, and I know some
Who,
what's
Lindsey
her
Vonn?
name? I know a women's snowboarder for the USA team. I can't remember her
Chloe
name.
Kim?
That's her name. Thank you, Chloe Kim. I couldn't remember if it was Kim or Chloe because I'm like, those are two first names. But no. Well, it's like Paul George, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Or Christian Jamal. Bunch of first names.
Yep. Yep.
Well, I guess Christian could be the last name, but Jamal is the last name. Just doesn't make sense. Yeah, Chloe Kim.
She was in Scooby-Doo. On Scooby-Doo Guess Who?
Oh, really?
So, there you go. All right. Happy time, people. Happy 60th birthday last Thursday, Jerry Rice. Rice, the three-time Super Bowl champion with the San Francisco 49ers, holds NFL career records in receptions with 1,549, receiving yards 22,895, and receiving touchdowns 197. That is 117 more receptions than the second-place person, Larry Fitzgerald, 5,403 yards more than second-place Larry Fitzgerald, and 41 more receiving touchdowns than Terrell Owens. Ryan, anything to say about Jerry Rice?
Yeah,
And
it's
that
like one
milestone
of, if not
birthday?
the greatest wide receiver ever.
Not one of, he is the.
I like Moss better, but I think Moss is
Statistically, this is
statistically
the best.
Rice is the best. It's one of those
And-
where it's the talent over the
And he also benefited because he didn't start playing until 1985, that the rules were already being relaxed for receivers. So he did not have to go through the era of being beat up by cornerbacks
That's true.
in the 1970s.
That's true. Well, and I guess I'm going against my own rule here because I've talked about before. Manning and Rodgers might be more quote unquote talented than Brady, but Brady has the accomplishments with it, which means he's greater. Right. So I think Rice is kind of like that with Moss. So I should say Rice is the best ever. So there you go.
Right.
Primetime could shut him down though, I bet. You know I'm a big Dion guy.
I know you are. A double happy anniversary here. First to Jim Thorpe on this day, 39 years ago, last Thursday, excuse me. And 30 years after his death, Jim Thorpe was recognized. His legacy was restored by the International Olympic Committee, who restored the 2 gold medals that were stripped from him from being paid to play semi-professional baseball. Thorpe medaled in the pentathlon and decathlon in the 1912 Stockholm Olympics. The Associated Press voted him the best athlete of the first half of the 21st century because not only did he win those 2 gold medals in the Olympics, but he played 6 years in Major League Baseball and for 6 teams in what is now today's NFL. And if you did not know this, Jim Thorpe technically was not a citizen in 1912 when he represented the United States in the Olympics because Jim Thorpe was Native American, and Native Americans were not given citizenship until 1924 under the Immigration Reform Act that passed that year and was signed into law. If you didn't know that.
I actually am doing an assignment over him tomorrow in my Modern American History class.
Look at you, yeah.
So it was really funny that you brought this up. I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah.
Yes, a little history lesson, kids. And another history lesson, kids, a longer one here. Happy anniversary to Harold Red Grange. 98 years ago yesterday, Red, who was known as the Galloping Ghost, accounted for 6 touchdowns in Illinois' win over Michigan in collegiate football. That came from running back, the opening kick return for a touchdown, runs of 66, 55, and 40 yards in the first 12 minutes that all ended up as touchdowns. Later ran for another rushing touchdown in the game and threw for a passing touchdown there. I mean, you can't do anything better than that. He had a touchdown almost every phase of the game except running back, an interception, or a fumble.
Yeah.
So, and then melancholy trails to first Bruce Sutter, who passed away last Thursday at the age of 69. Sutter played for the Chicago Cubs, St. Louis Cardinals, and Atlanta Braves in his major league career. He was a World Series champion with the St. Louis Cardinals. He's the only pitcher to lead the National League in saves 5 times. He was the National League Cy Young winner in 1979, and he was the first non-starting pitcher to be elected to the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown in 2006. And also Melancholy Trails that found out earlier today that athlete from Mississippi State University, Sam Westmoreland, had passed away. He was an offensive lineman under Mike Leach, and for now, the coroner had said that there was no cause of death to be ruled out yet. I have not seen anything else updated in this story, but if this ends up being another young collegiate athlete that has ended their life due to mental health, it is a sad, sad trend that has happened over the last year that has come to there. All right, it's time for the big finish. And
it's now 1-4 Astros.
Yes, the Astros are up 4-1. They are pouring it on now to the Yankees, I think.
I think we can close this at this point. I mean,
And the big finish last week, I took some risky picks, and I won all 4 of those somehow. I took the Jets, the Giants.
The Bills
were not risky, and the Bills weren't risky, but those first 2 definitely were.
I can't believe I bet against the Birds. They're the Bills they're my Bills. Like, they're the equivalent.
I mean, really, and
they're
guess
my
what?
Bills.
I'm not really an I-95 person, but I-95 is what paid off for me.
It's true.
New York, Philadelphia, Buffalo is not really I-95, but it's there, and that's what I told Ryan as we were talking earlier before this, is that the state of New York gave me 3 wins.
And the Yankees won.
Week.
It's really, if the Mets would have been in the pennant, it'd have been freaking crazy in New York. I'm glad they're not because I like the Padres, but I'm just saying.
Yes.
Also, on top of that, I think the Eagles are my equivalent to you and the Bills. Would you agree?
I would agree, and I'm pretty sure, didn't I pick Bills, Eagles to go to the Super Bowl? I think I did. I'd have to look at my papers.
No way you did Eagles. There's no shot.
Let's look at these papers.
There's no shot. Because I put the Eagles in the NFC Championship, and you went, yeah, you're probably right. Who was your Super Bowl? If you put Eagles Super Bowl, I would.
Here's the thing, I didn't write it down, so I don't even know. You got 49ers, Chargers.
But I had Eagles in the NFC Championship. You took Bills, Bucks?
No, I wouldn't have taken the Buccaneers.
I
think it might have been Rams. It probably was Rams.
You went Rams again?
I didn't go Rams again. I think I had the Eagles in the NFC.
Yeah, you had the ESPN style prediction.
So
Rams.
that's how that went.
Yes, because I said you're really taking the first game of the season to be the Super Bowl.
Yes, I remember. Yeah, and they're looking a little troubling right now.
Yeah.
So,
it's not like the Niners are killing it either. Come on.
Anyway. All right, well, let's first, before we even look at the big finish statistics here, this is for Season 3, but in Season 2, I finally did that today because it was raining outside. I did nothing. So I finished that today and ended up that last year I went 78-52, and I barely edged out Ryan, who went 74-56. I had a 60% winning percentage right on the dot, and Ryan was 57% rounded up.
We both would have made our money back if we bet.
Yes, and overall, if we would, for the weeks 1, I won 10, Ryan won 7, and we tied on 5. So it was a 10-7-5 record with myself winning.
Nice.
So, yeah, I don't know how that happened, but Ryan is actually the first one to pull off an undefeated week, and that was dealing with NFL playoffs there.
124, yeah.
Yes.
Probably some NBA games were tossed in there for me,
I
too.
Think there were
so I have a bit of an advantage.
Yes. So, but you had that, and I have gotten my first undefeated week. This 8-0. So right now,
8-0 is a heck of a week, though, Q.
I am 21-13 right now, and Ryan is 17-17, keeping that 500.
Yeah, you have a big lead. That's a lot.
No, 4 games. 4 games.
Yeah, but it just feels like a lot.
But last year, remember, I was a big.
You were a massive.
I was a big here.
Yeah.
And because I was 12-4 to start the season last year, you went. It actually wasn't that big. You went 9-7, but it just seemed
this
bigger.
week killed us. I don't know why you were 1-4 and I'm 0-5.
We were not good that week. So
I wonder what that was. I'll have to look back on that episode. I'm curious. We'll have to look back on that episode.
But anyway, so that's what's going on there. Let's go on to the big finish this week for Week 7 on Sunday. Bengals, Falcons. Who you got, Ryan?
I would love to go with Falcons here. I think they're having a kind of a big year, but the Bengals are the better team. The Bengals get the win. Bengals.
This can define the season right here. The Falcons have to come to Cincinnati afraid of the weather, but the weather's going to be nice this week. I think I'm going to take the Falcons. I'm going to
All right, let's see it. All right, risky
Titans, Colts.
I want to go with the Titans, but I know I got to do the right thing. I'm going to go with Colts.
I don't even know if Jonathan Taylor's playing. Did he play last week against the Jags?
No, he did not. He's on my fantasy team.
Okay, so I'm gonna take the Titans for now because I don't know about that injury yet.
Yeah.
So, Ravens.
Ravens. I don't care if he's out. I'm serious.
All right, Lamar is right now did not practice today.
I think he's going to come back.
I'm not saying he
taking
wouldn't play.
Okay.
Mark Andrews and J.K. Dobbins are injured right now, but the Browns are reeling, even though the Ravens have blown leads. I'm going to go with the Ravens. I'm going with you.
Good.
Raiders Texans. This is a battle for the bottom.
Raiders can't get anything right. Texans. Dameon Pierce is a stud.
The Raiders should not lose, in my opinion. I'm going to take the Raiders.
Okay.
Chargers Seahawks.
Chargers. I'm not going against Herbert with Geno. Geno's doing great. Geno's balling out, but he's not Herbert.
They're in L.A. I'll take the Chargers.
Okay.
Dolphins Steelers.
Gonna have to go. Oh, this is tough. Is Tua back?
Tua will be back this week.
Dolphins.
Taking the Steelers, even though they're a touchdown underdog. Thank you. You got to thank you for this week.
Yeah, the new trailer for Creed 3 dropped, so really excited for that. So the thank you is just to Michael B. Jordan for directing that. I think it looks really good. Jonathan, what's his name? He's the guy who's going to play Kang in the MCU. He's getting a lot of big roles now because he's Kang in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Jonathan Majors, he looks to be really interesting as the villain in this one. Anderson Dame is his name. It's a more personal story because, the first one is all about, Adonis Creed and, kind of taking back his father's legacy. And then the second one is kind of like taking out a villain for his father, which is obviously the son of Dolph Lundgren's character, Victor Drago, his son. So there's that one. And then this one's a lot more personal to Adonis because it is somebody from his past. So I think this has a chance to be, one of the best of the Creed, the best of the Creeds, and I think the Creed movies are some of the best Rocky movies. I think Creed 1 is probably the best Rocky movie. It gives Rocky 1 a run for his money. I think the two best Rocky movies are Rocky 1 and Creed 1. Creed 2's up there for me too. Actually, no, I haven't seen Creed 2. I didn't think about this. I was like, no, I'd actually never watched that one all the way. I've just seen some of it on TV. I need to sit down and watch the whole thing. I apologize. I caught myself. I was like, wait a minute, I didn't watch that whole thing because I was like, I don't remember how that ends. Yeah, because I only watched the beginning. So, yeah, I got to finish Creed 2 before I watch Creed 3, but I'm really excited for it. I really like the Rocky movies. I've seen all of them except 5. Never watched Rocky 5 because, you just know it's not very good. My favorite has always been 4, but in reality, it probably is Creed at this point. I do love Creed 1 so much because it's a Ryan Coogler-directed film, and he still has helped write the second one, even though he directed it, and then Michael B. Jordan's directing this one. So my thank yous to them, and my thank you is also to the Philadelphia Phillies. Please accept my apology. I respect you guys. You had a great season, so do not come for me for revenge. Thank you.
I'm going to plug 2 movies here that I watched this past week. The first one would be The Rainmaker. John Grisham's Rainmaker stars a little battle here between Matt Damon and John Boyd, and it was very good. All right, it's dealing with corporate law. Matt Damon is a fresh out of law school lawyer working on this lawsuit. Took him 6 times to pass the bar. Danny DeVito is the supporting actor.
Oh, I love him.
And John Boyd is representing the health insurance company. And then I watched this one today. As I said, it rained. So wasn't out on the mower doing anything else. But it's called Changing Lanes, and it's very good. It's about Samuel L. Jackson and Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck is a lawyer. Samuel L. Jackson is a father who is a recovering alcoholic, getting a divorce. Ben Affleck is trying to file some papers to get a trust that's going from a board of trustees to the law firm instead. So they actually end up getting in a car wreck on the FDR, and Ben Affleck loses one of his files. So Samuel L. Jackson picks up and keeps it, and they play a little game of cat and mouse in order for him to get that back and end up in the world. So actually, it's basically one day. That's all it is. All you're seeing is one day. It's not spanning anything else. So you get to see one day. That's it within an hour and a half, and it's a very good movie. So a good thriller. I'd recommend you taking a watch if you get a chance.
Now, did you ever watch The Departed with Matt Damon, Martin Scorsese film, Leonardo DiCaprio? Boston drug scene?
Nope.
Heck of a film. Jack Nicholson's in it, too.
Jack Nicholson.
Probably my favorite Scorsese film that's not Wolf of Wall Street. I like it better than Taxi Driver.
Martin Scorsese. All right.
I wasn't like I liked Scorsese movie just fine. Wolf of Wall Street was his first movie for me. Where I'm like, okay, yep, you're a legend. Wolf of Wall Street's like a perfect movie to me. I think it's like one of the few perfect movies I've ever seen. It's like up there with like Pulp Fiction and Shawshank is like perfect films. So,
well, I'm going to watch this movie now because
no, Departed's exceptional. I love The Departed.
Ratings.
And Mark Wahlberg, it won Best Picture. It's Scorsese's only ever Best Picture winner.
Brad Pitt is producing this. What? Brad Pitt produced it. Okay.
Yeah, he's on it. He was going to be in it, and then they ended up not
Martin
getting him.
Sheen's in here. You saw him in Martin.
Stacked cast.
Okay,
Martin Sheen.
Alec Baldwin. You know.
Who steals the show in it is Mark Wahlberg. Mark kills it in this movie.
Oh, good. Okay, and Anthony Anderson's in here too. These okay.
I think it's honestly one of Leonardo DiCaprio's best performances.
Well,
it's exceptional.
I'll be sure
I love that movie. It's exceptional.
So, love ya. See you on the next podcast. Bye-bye. This is Quinn Maseko speaking for the Big Salad Podcast, a Ryan Klinger production.
We can retake it.
Please note that
I can fix it. I can fix it.
This is Quinn Maseko speaking for the Big Salad Podcast, a Ryan Klinger production. Please note that portions of this podcast were edited before the final cut was produced, and this episode was recorded on October 19th. The sections of Toss-Up, Happy Time, and The Big Finish are copied from the ESPN show. Pardon the interruption, and there was no intention to infringe on the copyright of these segments and their related music. Stay tuned for our next podcast next Wednesday here on the Sort of Sports Podcast YouTube channel.